Welcome back. I think it's time for a little women in sports. This week, we are starting with a sport that's gaining popularity in the U.S., and it's doing so very quickly. The brand new Professional Women's Lacrosse League, or WLL, officially debuted this past week. And in the inaugural game, the New York Charging defeated the Maryland Charm in a nail-biter, 14-3. The other two teams in the league are the Boston Guard and the California Palms. This league follows the sixes format, which is a smaller pitch and it has 6 players on each side as opposed to the traditional 10. That's because that's how Olympic lacrosse is played. And in 2028, when the Olympics are in Los Angeles, lacrosse is making a comeback. It's been 80 years since lacrosse was even featured at the Olympics, but that was only as a demonstration. The last time lacrosse athletes were given medals was back in 1908. And for the first time in Olympic history, women will finally be allowed to play the sport. Supporters of the WLL hopes this will help prepare athletes and audiences for 2028. Turning to the slopes, the U.S. women dominated at the Audi Alpine World Ski Championships this weekend. Breezy Johnson took home gold in the downhill, while she and Michaela Schifrin took home first in the team combined. Then it was bronzes for Lauren Masuga and Paula Maltzen in the Super G and Giant Slalom. This was the best performance by the U.S. women at Worlds in 4 decades, and it's a great sign since we are a year out from the Winter Olympics. It's also the first time since 1985 that 3 different women have won individual medals. And if you have been following Women in Sports every Tuesday, you know what a big deal this is for Michaela Schifrin. Just a few months ago, she suffered a horrendous crash and a puncture wound, and it forced her to back out of some of the races at this weekend's World Championships. But she came back to compete, even snagging 5th in the slalom, an event that she has won 4 times. Shifting now to basketball, it was a stunner over the weekend as a South Carolina streak came to an end. UConn defeated the Gamecocks 87-58, and they did it in South Carolina. This is the first time since December 2020 that South Carolina women have lost at home. It was a 71-game home win streak. When asked after the fact, South Carolina head coach Dawn Staley said, "This is just an opportunity to start a brand new streak." And you know what? While we're talking about basketball, do you recognize this skyline? It looks like the newest WNBA expansion team will be in Cleveland, Ohio. The team is expected to join the league in 2028 and will revive the old Cleveland Rockers franchise, which folded back in 2003. And turning to our local ladies, there are 3 of them on this week's Midwest Technical Institute Score Standout list. First up, Olivia McCorkle from Bettendorf, the junior breaking her own record for most points in a game and scoring 40 of them. She's joined by Madison Austin from Sterling, who put up 26 points and 13 rebounds, and Journey Houston from Davenport North, recording herself a triple-double with 31 points, 12 assists, and 11 steals. You have until tomorrow at noon to cast your vote, and all you gotta do is head over to WQAD.com. Each week's winner will be featured on Off the Cuff. Finally tonight, I have a tennis story for you. This is American player Amanda Anisimova. As a teenager, she was a breakthrough, climbing as high as number 21 in the world rankings. But at 21 years old, in 2023, she backed out of the sport for mental health reasons, citing burnout. When she returned the next year, she was never really able to regain anything close to her former ranking. That is, until this weekend. 1 year after her comeback began, Amanda became a first-time Women's Tennis Association champion in Doha. And to do it, she had to beat out 6 current or former top 20 players. Get this, along the way, Amanda only lost 1 singular set. And that'll do it for this week's edition of Women in Sports.